Welcome back. The Biden administration's legal battle over social media censorship is set to hit the Supreme Court today. The justices will hear arguments over whether federal officials violated the First Amendment by urging platforms to remove posts they deemed false or misleading. Two Republican attorneys general brought the case in a challenge to the administration's efforts to curb misinformation online. Louisiana Attorney General Liz Murrill is with us this morning. Good morning, Madam Attorney General. Great to have you on.
Good morning. It's great to be with y'all.
Take us through the case. What's this all about?
You know, the short of it is that the government engaged in a sprawling enterprise to censor American speech through the big tech companies and by pressuring, and then, you know, there was encouragement, then there was pressure and coercion, and then there was outright threats. And so we're just here to vindicate the rights of the American people and the First Amendment.
What impacts could this case have on everyday Americans?
You know, it's huge. It's just when you think about the power of the federal government to control speech across America, if they can control the ability of all of us to receive and to share information on these platforms by controlling the narrative. I mean, it's a huge threat to free speech in America.
And one of the biggest problems is, and I've heard you talk about this before, but if people don't know that they're being censored or what they have access to is being filtered. So they might Google something, for example, you know, they're looking for an answer to some question. And if Google and Democrats don't like what you're searching, they're going to give you other stuff on the first few pages of your search results. You might not have to go to page 4 or 5 of the Google search results to find what you're actually looking for.
Well, that's right. And that part of it is about how they write the algorithms, and the algorithms then control how the content is filtered. You know, this was even more overt than that. I mean, that's a kind of bureaucratizing the whole system, right? So that it filters your speech. Here in our case, we have evidence of the White House threatening the tech companies with their Section 230 immunity and telling them you're not removing content fast enough and telling them exactly what content they wanted removed, and even targeting certain people to the point that they had called them the disinformation dozen.
So the Supreme Court hearing this case today, how do you think the justices will rule on this?
You know, look, I'm hoping for a 9-0 unanimous opinion to come out of this that vindicates the First Amendment. But I will say this: I think that the Supreme Court over the years has been pretty bullish in protecting the First Amendment, and I hope that they will see that here. The government claims that it's just using its bully pulpit, but in fact, what the government is doing is just bullying. So it bullied its way into getting what it wanted with big tech. And we need the Supreme Court to reset the clock and say, when there's a dispute between the government and the First Amendment and the American people, the First Amendment always wins.
Yeah, great point. We'll keep a close eye on this case as it makes its way through the high court. So important, again, as we get closer and closer to Election Day as well. Louisiana Attorney General Liz Murrill, thanks so much for being with us this morning. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.